Hello and welcome to this short video about understanding three basic commands of a networking and in a networking environment. And that's going to be the ping, the trace route, and the ipconfig. So we're going to be looking at those three different commands and see what's the importance or how can we use them. These are very three important commands in a networking environment. So I have this network here that we are going to use to test the ping and the ipconfig commands, and we're going to also use a traceroute command. What I'm going to be taking to my host computer to test that. So basically, firstly, we're going to check our ipconfig, then we're going to ping, and then we're going to do a trace route. So let's get into that. So I have here this computer, so we can see if we can get the using this client. So I'm going to see what is the IP address assigned to this computer. To do that, we have to use the command ipconfig. So ipconfig is IP configuration or Internet Protocol configuration. So there are a lot of things you can do with this configuration. You can renew your IP, you can release an IP, you can assign IP. There are a lot of things you can do with the IP configuration. So if you put in this command, here you're going to see this address is the IP address. This one refers to the what? The address of that device. The subnet mask, it's the class of network that you are operating on, or this device is operating on. So there are classes of subnet masks. So we have the class A, class B, class C. We also have class D. But basically we don't use class D. So these three classes, A, B, and C, is what we use. So if you see such a MAC address or an address like this is a class C subnet. So this subnet, it can have about 254 to 255 computers assigned to such a network with this subnet mask. So class A also have a larger range, class B as well, class C has about 255 hosts that can connect to that network. So sometimes maybe in CDG or around, you see you are not connecting to the Wi-Fi, or you have some connectivity issues. Maybe there are many people on the network and you cannot connect. So we need to use, so we have something called what? A classless domain or a classless subnet masking. So that one is another topic. So in the classless domain or the classless subnet mask, we introduce something called a slash. So for example, a slash, we can say ipconfig, or just say it is 192.168.1.2/23. So this was introduced to help while we are still trying to incorporate, even though the IP version 6, it's been incorporated. It's a 128-bit addressing mix of hexadecimal numbers, but we also have a classless routing, and that also have this one. So with the /23, you can have many devices onto that network, or you can even use /21, /22, /20, /19. It all depends. If you have a big university like this and you want everybody to connect to your network, you have to know the class of subnet mask to use. So basically, we are not going to that, but just want to give you an insight to that. And the default gateway is the place. I want to describe it in a way that you understand. The default gateway is the door, the entrance. So the place you get your internet or everything comes from is that gateway. So if you want to reach out to a website, if we go into the trace route, you try to understand what I'm talking about. So if you want to go or access a website, it first pass through your default gateway and then go out to the internet, which can be described or like this. This is the entire internet. So maybe you could be on this network and you want to maybe access something that is found within this network or is found within this network. So we use those commands. And yeah, I think those three, you try to understand the IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. What are they used for? IP address, once again, is your device address. Subnet mask is the class, or it tells you how many hosts or devices can be connected to that network. And the default gateway is like your host, or it's like a provider, or it's like your parent. So everything is an entrance, is a doorway. Alright, so now we have done with this ipconfig. Now let's move to the ping command. So ping command, now we have our network here, our IP of 1 to 2, and that was for client 1. So let's see client 2. This is client 1. So let's see client 2. So client 2 is this guy. We double click on him. So here we have client 2. So client 2, we also have to see the IP address of client 2. Just in case we want to ping it, we have to know the IP address of that device before you ping it. So client 2 have an address of 192.168.1.3, and it's also found under the same default gateway and the same subnet mask. So they are in the same network. Therefore, they should be able to reach or communicate with each other. And how do you know that they can communicate with each other? Is by using the ping command. So now we're going to use the ping command. Since we have two computers that are on the same network, using the same default gateway on this kind of a virtual system. So let's try to see if this computer, client 2, can reach client 1.